So it's been a while. So today we are going to be looking at the release of Narrative Select's new release to Windows. Now, Narrative has been an app that I've been looking at for quite some time. However, being a Windows user myself, it wasn't available. So today we're going to open up Narrative Select and see what sort of benefits it might have in my workflow, certain features, and ultimately if it really speeds things up or not. So here's the first impressions, first kind of look. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're into the software. Choose a folder or images or drop it here, crack it open. All right, so we're into the software now. So there are quite a few different features that I'd like to go through. So you can actually do it very similar to Adobe Lightroom, where you can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as your rating. Everything is color coded. Green being good, yellow being so-so, and red an absolute no-go. An example of this one here, eyes fully open, good focus. However, this one we've got eyes partially open. Well, I've just given this a 4 considering that it's an okay shot. So I'm going to choose 4s and 5s. 4s being my, they're pretty good. 5s being absolutes, and unrated, I'll just leave it as it is. So it's really nice and convenient how they have the faces all blown up here so we can really see the details. So yeah, see, these are no good. So this is a great example. She's not in focus completely, as you can see here. And it's really good because the program even gives it a little rating in itself as well. We've got here an 8. So eyes fully open and excellent focus in this case. Like, this is a prime example. With this one being a 7, considering it is in focus, but unfortunately mid-blink. So that's gonna really speed up a lot of things here. And yeah, I'm just really interested to see how well I can actually utilize this program. Is it one that you have to learn heaps more to use? Or is it gonna be one that would actually improve the workflow? Because that's ultimately where it's at. If it's not gonna speed things up, then really we're not gonna bother so much with it. A good solid one's an excellent one. It's an excellent contender. It's a hella good shot, right? So what we are going to do next is click onto the ship button. It comes up straight away. So we will choose Adobe Classic. There's also Lightroom CC or other. The most recent catalog, yes. So we'll do all images, or from here, I think I've got my selection. I've picked probably a few more than what the program would recommend. We selected 248 from half of what the program has selected as saying that it is good. And the rest of it is really some potentials I think that could definitely be used in an edit. Now we're importing it into Lightroom, and let's see how it actually runs, or at least if it has the ratings I'm after. So it's just running the import right now as we speak. Import. All right, so it's now populating. My question is, does the starred ratings actually go through? So we'll give the computer just a sec while it uploads it all. Fingers crossed it is really as good as I hope it to be. Programs like Select Narrative would definitely be really ideal for events. So think of your birthdays, your parties, especially for wedding photography, considering that you can be shooting potentially in the thousands over a period of 2 to 5 hours very, very easily. The culling process, as a lot of you might know, takes a lot longer than it really should, but is ultimately a necessary step in how we create imagery. So it looks like the initial previews are finishing up now. Let's go to the Lightroom's filters and see if it actually works. So let's give rated a go, and if, fingers crossed, if the 3s, 4s, and 5s that we selected from before are actually all working, then we've got a winner. Rated. It's done our job. We've got 248 of the 592. Excellent. And there we have it. That's our first look at the Windows version of Narrative Select. So what I really loved about Narrative Select for Windows was really how easy it was just to jump in. I can see it being extremely useful for those who might shoot, having the photos in the hundreds and thousands, especially for something like a wedding, where culling the photos is really half of the battle sometimes. It can take you up to a good few hours just to select all the photos and take out the ones that you may have missed a focus, or your client's eyes might have been closed, or mid-closing in this case. It is a really good feature how everything is color-coded, so you'll know straight away at a glance whilst you're scrolling through the photos of which photos that might be out of focus, or the client might be looking in a different direction, or anything like that. So one of the cons that I saw with Narrative Select was, despite putting all the ratings, when I click onto the ship button, it still made me ship the entire 500 or so photos into Adobe Lightroom. So after importing into Lightroom, it looks like you can use the filters, in this case the number rating, and that showed straight away only 250 images for me to work with. So that would definitely be helpful. Will I be using Narrative Select for Windows? I think maybe. Ultimately, any tool that we import into our workflow, you have to get used to it. So I'm going to give it probably about a month just to see if I really get used to it and if it actually speeds up my workflow. If it does, it is a program that is free to use, that I can actually recommend, especially for those that do events and weddings. I can see this saving many hours. But let me know what you think. Will you be using the program? And hopefully we can do some more useful content like this. But till then, signing off.